During a big race, such as the cycle tour, your body goes through a tremendous amount of strain, burning up a lot of energy, and it's absolutely vital to replace or replenish those energy stores in order to have a successful race. And pro-cyclists Burry and Cherise Taylor joins us once again to give us their expert opinion. Good morning, guys, and welcome back to Expresso.
Good morning, good to be back.
Now, during a big race, nutrition plays a big part. What's your approach to it?
Well, for me, starting on the bike, I try and eat as quickly as possible. Within the first 10 or 20 kilometers, I already start eating my energy bars just so that I can keep the energy levels up high so that I don't get... I usually feel if I start to get hungry, then it's already too late. So I try to keep my energy levels up by eating the whole time.
And Burry, for yourself?
I think the key for me is having a strategy, you know, going into the race, having a plan, you know the route. Find places where it's typically easy for you to consume food, and then stick to it. You know, I have a timer on the bike, which I've adhered to. You know, if I have a strategy of eating every 20 minutes or every 15 minutes or half an hour, I have key elements and I force myself. A lot of times you get to that point and at that stage you feel, oh, you're not too hungry, or it's, you know, you've got a lot of energy or what have you. You got to ignore that. You got to just stick to your strategy and eat whenever possible, when you know you've dedicated the time to. You know, obviously you have your energy drink, which should be a very good high carbohydrate drink, but also concentrate on taking in a lot of just clean water as well. I find that a lot of times helps with my cramping. And also dehydration by the end of a long event.
So especially let's look at dehydration during the race. I mean, let's say you've taken the necessary care to prevent that. How should you go about, you know, during the race? If you start feeding, what would you start feeding once you get dehydrated?
Yeah, look, it's tough. I mean, by the stage that the race starts, you should already loaded with a product like Cramp Block or VO2 Max or that sort of thing to make sure that your muscles are saturated. Once it gets to the stage of where you start feeling it quite badly, the cramp and that sort of thing, the best thing to do is take in a lot of electrolytes and water. That definitely helps with cramping. Try and do that and then sort of stretch it out. It's a very difficult situation. There is no real solution.
Cherise, what happens when you've taken the care to, you know, upkeep your energy levels, but during the race you feel that you're just low on energy? Why is that, and what can you do?
For me, I use a very high energy caffeine bottle. Specifically the Epic Turbo I find works really well with me. My body has adapted to that. For me it's very easy to consume, and that'll just give you that last little bit of energy so that you can drain absolutely everything from your body and just get to the finishing point in top form.
But the fact remains is preventative measures still best.
Yeah, definitely. You definitely want to keep on taking supplements throughout the whole cycle tour.
All right. Now, road cycling is all about conserving energy. Now, besides supplements, where can people, you know, conserve their energy?
A very big role in road cycling is obviously drafting. In the big bunches, you want to be able to sit behind someone that is good, that you can see can handle his bike. You don't, in a bunch, necessarily want to sit at the back. You want to sit so that you can always see the front of the bunch. I usually keep between 10 or 15 people in front of me so that if something happens that you can get up the road easily. And then just to know, basically to try and know the route so that you know where you can go easier, where you can go harder.
In road cycling it's all about drafting and sitting in the right place at the right time. You know, it's not always the strongest rider who wins the races, to be quite honest. It's a lot of times the smartest races.
Now, just to get back to the nutrition part during the race, what about solid foods? I mean, you guys spoke about gels and protein bars, but besides protein bars and all that, you know, what would you say about solid foods during a race?
I think it's good if you happen to stop at the water points, grab a banana, grab some whatever potatoes if they have that on the table, and they always make sure that they have plenty of hard, solid foods to offer cyclists. And if you happen to ride past there, just grab something. Just make sure that you keep your stomach topped up the whole time. Yeah,
I think it's important, you know, to look at different sort of racing. You know, a lot of guys in the cycle tour ride 7-8 hours. And a lot of times, a lot of high sugar content, although it's great for performance, might sort of start affecting your stomach after about 5 or 6 hours, you know, and you'll find that you really start craving something salty and food that, you know, normal, it's like a sandwich or whatever. During the middle of the ride, once you get to 4 hours, it's just nice to have something different, and then you can carry on with your normal supplementation with gel and bars and whatever.
Well, now we know how to take care of our bodies nutritionally during a big race. Now join us again tomorrow because we'll be talking about recovery after a race, and that's very important. So see you there.